That's enough, Kishi. Let's get this over with.
What the muff? Kubo?
Troll. Plot Kai.
Kubo trolled my fandom?
You have all asked that I do Bleach. I'm feeling a little low on Naruto videos for the time being, but maybe it's time for me to break out into other manga. The next manga to do was pretty obviously Bleach. Like Naruto, the consensus about Bleach is that it started out good, but gradually got worse as time went on. As many times as Naruto jumped the shark, Bleach did it twice as much. Or is it 4 times as much? I don't really know. I'm not alone in doing this. I remember when Bleach ended back in 2016, countless videos came out about how Bleach had fallen from grace. People's opinions on Bleach turned for the worse.
Bleach has managed to jump the shark again.
How do you jump the shark from jumping the shark?
You turn around and jump it again.
Apparently we're being told that there's a book called Unmasked that we need to read.
I don't care! Okay? I don't care! I don't care about external material, alright? Kubo's a bad writer.
Look at this, so much Bleach didn't make the cut videos. To start off with some history, remember how in the 2000s, Shonen Jump had what many considered to be the big 3. One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. You could argue that any of the 3 was the best, the most successful. While One Piece and Naruto succeeded Bleach in popularity in Japan, in America it was a different story. Bleach was widely considered to have the best English dub by a long shot. Bleach's dub would air on Adult Swim long before Toonami became part of Adult Swim, which I think really helped its fan base grow. I don't have the experience with Bleach that I have with Naruto. I did start reading the series around the time the final arc was getting started, but while I was really enraptured with the first story arcs, I gradually lost interest. And by the time the final arc started, I just didn't care anymore. To add insult to injury, shortly after Bleach's final arc started in 2012, the long-running anime was cancelled due to declining ratings, and the fact that, well, years and years of filler will do that. Makes me wonder how the Naruto anime never got cancelled. Now I know next year they are animating the final arc of Bleach, but I can't find information on who's animating it. Apparently it's not Studio Pierrot, I heard. Damn, whose dick do I have to suck to get Studio Pierrot to lose Naruto? Don't answer that. Not only that, but Bleach's later manga chapters regularly ranked in the bottom 5 of Shonen Jump, which is usually a sign for cancellation. I suspect it's why the ending of the manga was so rushed. They probably told Kubo that he had a month to wrap things up. Speaking of, let's talk about Kubo real quick. Tight Kubo. Every time I see this picture of him with those sunglasses, I can't help but think he's trying way too hard to be cool. The dude's beginnings as a manga artist are relatively humble. He started with a one-shot, then a serialization story called Zombie Powder, which only ran for 27 chapters before being cancelled. But Kubo received a letter from Akira Toriyama of Dragon Ball fame telling him to keep going, and so that leads us to Bleach. Speaking of which, it'd be nice to have interviews from Kubo as I go through this series. Feel free to link them in the comments if you can. So before we go into why Bleach jumped the shark, and believe me, there are many reasons as to why, we must first see why it drew praise to begin with. So with that, we'll start at the beginning. We meet our protagonist, Ichigo Kurosaki, a high school student who lives with his father and sisters, but he has the gift to see spirits. This leads to him meeting the Shinigami, or Soul Reapers as Viz calls it. Rukia comes from the Soul Society where other Shinigami reside. Rukia's job is basically to guide the lost souls to the afterlife. During a battle with a Hollow, Rukia is left weak and with no choice transfers her powers to Ichigo, who wants to protect his family. From then on, the first year of Bleach is spent largely introducing us to the main cast of characters. Chad, the gentle giant, Orihime, the plucky girl who has a crush on Ichigo, and Ishida, who is a Quincy and thus has a grudge against the Shinigami. The early days of Bleach were mainly a monster of the week type of scenario, with Ichigo learning the ropes as a Shinigami. But what really makes this stand out is Ichigo and Rukia's interactions. Kubo does a good job of developing their bond. Now, before we get into shipping talk, I'll just say I never necessarily saw any relationship in Bleach as romantic. I appreciate Kubo took the time to set up the characters in the world they lived in before getting to the heavy stuff, such as the plot about Ichigo's mother. Please don't tell me she turns out to be a red herring too. I can't take that again. Each character in the series had their quirks, except for Ichigo. You see, Ichigo is often accused of not being a very interesting protagonist, which we'll cover later. The general idea of the shonen protagonist is that while they don't change, they are the force of change for others. Ichigo serves as a hero that you can admire. You want to see him win. He doesn't do this because he wants any reward, but because he has a good heart and he wants to protect people. Yeah, not a flawed hero, but with shonen, it's generally more important that your main protagonist be admirable than well-rounded. It all comes to a head when Rukia's older brother Byakuya and Renji appear to take Rukia back to Soul Society for her travel. Looking back, it's obvious Kubo intended for the real meat of the story to come later. Apparently, I've heard Kubo had plans for more of Ichigo's classmates to get powers, but was told to hurry up and get to the real meat, which was the Soul Society. I don't know if that's true. Ichigo comes to Rukia's rescue, and though he's able to surprisingly beat Renji, better get used to that, Renji, Byakuya absolutely owns Ichigo and shows a level of power that Ichigo has not yet achieved.
Here's where Kubo really succeeded with the first year of Bleach.
You really buy into Ichigo and Rukia's bond. You buy that she doesn't want him to die, and it feels completely genuine that Ichigo wants to save her. From then on, Ichigo and his friends train to be able to enter the Soul Society and save Rukia. Once Ichigo and friends enter the Soul Society, they find more things than they could possibly imagine waiting for them. The Soul Society was a long arc, but it didn't feel long at all. All the characters get a moment to shine, except for maybe Orihime. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like her, but she's not too bad in this arc. She's not entirely Ichigo crazy. Basically, the first year of Bleach felt like build-up, and this was the culmination of it. The characters all go through tribulation, alliances are forged, and some characters we meet seemingly die. Of course, Bleach is no stranger to the rival trope of shonen. Ichigo has two in this arc, Renji and Byakuya. How should I sum up Renji? Well, every time he gets into a fight, let's just use this as an example.
This time I'm gonna kick that football clear to the moon!
But the best part of the arc is just the internal struggle the characters go through. Rukia doesn't even get to physically do anything, but she gets the best development in the entire arc. The damsel in distress trope can be effective, and it's done well here. Rukia doesn't think that her life has any value, owing to the failure to protect one of her fallen lieutenants, an obvious parallel to Ichigo. But slowly she comes to realize that her life has value. Byakuya is a man who is strictly focused on honor. Even though he appears cold at executing his adoptive sister, he really is hurting deep down, but it's his job. Ichigo, of course, has his own superpowered evil side, as it were, his hollow form. Ichigo gains immense power, but loses control of himself in the process. Every shonen has to have this, don't they? The whole arc climaxes when Ichigo fights Byakuya for Rukia's life. The battle between the two is intense. At one point it seems Ichigo's life is saved by the emergence of his hollow. But Ichigo fights it off because he wants to win the fight himself. It's not every day you see a shonen hero fight off his power-up because he wants to win the battle on his own terms. Thus, after a long clash, Ichigo stands victorious. Of course, you can't talk about this arc without mentioning the game-changing twist that was Aizen. Aizen, one of the Soul Reaver captains, was in fact the true bad guy of the arc, carefully manipulating everyone so he can get the Hokyo out of Rukia. Basically, this was a reminder that as epic as the Soul Society was, bigger things were still to come. Byakuya absolutely curb-stomping Ichigo, it showed that there were bigger enemies out there, more powerful foes to face. And Aizen did the same thing while being more ambitious, calculating, and secretive. So it seemed he would become one of the best shonen villains, but instead he would become one of the most wasted ones. But we'll get to that. At the end, Rukia decides to stay in Soul Society. Ichigo's fine with this, as his close friend is safe and that's all that matters to him. The final moments between Ichigo and Rukia are heartfelt and somber. For the moment, we don't care about Aizen's plans to come. For now, our characters are safe, everyone is happy, Our characters have grown closer, and the panel of Ichigo successfully blocking his father's kick as a reminder how strong our heroes become, it just shows that the journey has been worth it. And as I said at the beginning of my Naruto review, it will never be again. But I think you already know that. I can see why Bleach was well received. The characters were fun and memorable. I gotta say, whatever arcs One Piece and Naruto were on during this time, along with the Soul Society arc, what an amazing time that must have been for manga fans. The Soul Society arc took Bleach from being, pretty good to, OMG, this is so epic! So everyone took this as a sign that Bleach was going to get better and better. But the reality is, the Soul Society arc was just the peak of the series. Everything after this will unravel and reveal that maybe Kubo wasn't quite cut out for it. But that's a story for next time. We're going to get deeper into this as we go. This video was just meant to be an introduction, to remind people of the good in Bleach, why people fell in love with it. The reason why people look back fondly on this portion of Bleach was because Kubo made you care about his characters, and we wanted to see what happened to them, but sadly it was not to be. Next video we will be covering the entire R and Car arc, which is from volumes 22 to 48. Oh god. Well, I got some reading to do on the Shonen Jump app, so see you guys soon. If you liked the video, please hit that bell, like, and subscribe button. If you want updates, follow me on Twitter or join my Discord. See you next time.